I'm Benthelooney, and I'm a good source of vitamins and minerals. When it comes to cartoons, there are the ones I love, the ones I hate, and the ones that make me say, eh. These are cartoons that neither tick me off, nor do they make me stay up at night binge watching. They're just cartoons that exist. I watch them, and then I go and actually do something productive with my time. This video is going to be a tribute to those cartoons. Sit back, relax, prepare your not exactly bored but not exactly excited face. Here is my list of the top 6 mediocre cartoons. Why top 6? Because I didn't have enough cartoons to fill 12 spots with. Don't tell me how to make my videos!
These days, these nights are so ordinary. These days, these nights are so ordinary.
Dave the Barbarian. In this comedic fantasy show, a barbarian and his family rule the land of Udragoth, protecting it from villains, monsters, and a time-traveling nerd from the present. Yeah, a lot of people love this show and consider it one of the best animated shows that Disney has created. Sadly, it only ran for 1 year and 21 episodes. Seriously? Every kid at school talked to me about this show. We used to quote this show during lunchtime. A friend of mine made a clay figure of Chuckles the Silly Piggy for art class. And we used to pretend sword fight. I accidentally stabbed my friend and I had to bury his body in the woods. Pretend you didn't hear that last part. Yeah, this was a pretty popular cartoon when it came out, so low ratings wouldn't be an excuse for canceling it. What the heck happened? Anyway, I rewatched this show again recently, and while it still has its funny moments, it definitely isn't one show I'd watch constantly. Can't quite put my finger on it. Nothing objective is wrong with it. The writing is great, the characters are lovable, the voice acting is top notch. It's just... eh. After watching it recently, I barely remember what happens in any episodes, other than that badass theme song. Sing with me now! Barbarian! 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 I never get tired of that. I'd have to say, other than the theme song, the most memorable thing is Twinkle the Marble Horse. You can tell that guy has issues.
I had that dream again. The one where I do terrible things to penguins with the croquet mallet.
So, even though this cartoon doesn't do much for me now, it's low on this list because I have very fond memories of it. It takes me back to the innocent times before I went into show business, and the Hollywood system completely screwed me over. Then came the lawsuits, the scandals, the restraining orders, and that mysterious anvil that keeps following me everywhere. There he is now! What do you want from me? Those were the days. So, I can't think of a better way to conclude talking about Dave the Barbarian than with Steve the Egg song.
Steve the Egg, I wear pants with got no legs. Steve the Egg, he won't miss the sausages.
Barbarian. These days, these nights are so ordinary. These days, these nights are so ordinary.
My life as a teenage robot. Ah, yes. Rob Renzetti's crowning achievement of his career. The man was with your childhood from the very start, working on practically every show from the golden age of Cartoon Network, Dexter's Laboratory, Powerpuff Girls, Samurai Jack, and Foster's Home for Imaginary Friends. The man was a creative influence on those shows, which is why he probably makes a better writer-director than he does a creator. This is one show that I loved as a kid, and I defended it when talking among my other guy friends, even when they were setting fire to my arm. Powerpuff Girls led to the creation of female hero cartoons, and this was one of the results of that. Though where this show falls flat is it became a regular cartoon about a robot trying to fit in at a high school. She's a robot! What does she need to go to high school for? Though I will give the show credit for giving Jenny more of a personality than just being a bland robot with no emotions. And her cute voice being provided by Janice Kawai helps out too. I swear that girl needs to do more voice work. But Jenny does fall into typical high school girl territory when all she thinks about is boys, makeovers, and going to the mall. You know, what every single teenage girl in the whole world does! The only unique thing about Ginny is she actually fights the occasional villain. That's cool and all, but does it make sitting through all the teenage high school talk worth it? Oh well, despite my complaints, I still do watch this show from time to time to relive the fun I had with it. Though I don't think it ages well, it's harmless and cute enough for me to not regret spending time on it. I do wish Rob Renzetti's other creation, Mina and the Count, got picked up instead though. I think that idea has plenty of potential, but it's whatever. My life as a teenage robot. Kind of like life as a regular teenager, except with slightly more drama.
These days, these nights are so ordinary. These days, these nights are so ordinary.
Ruby Gloom. Here's one from Canada that never aired in the US. Probably for a good reason. This is a cartoon based off of a clothing accessories line. I've seen cartoons based off toys, but clothing accessories? Now that's just crazy. Anyway, this is a horror-themed cartoon about a group of zombie-like children who just hang around, I guess. Yeah, for such an out-there premise, this show really doesn't take advantage of itself. The plots are pretty straightforward, with the first episode being about Ruby's friends thinking that she's dying. You have a gothic-inspired show with all these horror-themed possibilities, and you use it for... Alright, I've noticed that most of the Canadian cartoons I've seen do take it easy. No matter how out there the premise is, the plots and characters stay pretty down-to-earth and simple, and this show is no exception. I tried giving this show a chance after hearing Rebel Texas saying he loves it, but it was hard for me to get through. I didn't exactly hate it, but I felt I could have been watching something else with my time. However, the humor is cute and innocent, the art style is dark and moody while still being fun to look at, and I really am a fan of the character Misery.
If you're happy or whatever your mood is in, clap your hands. If you're happy or just a little bit miserable, clap your hands. If you're happy, sad or morose, then don't stay comatose. If you're happy, sad or morose, clap your hands.
Just make a show about her. I'd watch it. This is a show that I might watch on occasion, especially around Halloween time, but it's just too ordinary to get me watching over and over again. Canada, thank you for ice hockey, but work on making your animations more interesting, please.
These days, these nights are so ordinary. These days, these nights are so ordinary.
Class of 3000. Boy, did this show come and go. I remember when it was coming out in 2006, Cartoon Network hyped the crap out of it, with a whole time slot on Fridays being dedicated to the premiere of it. They even aired the pilot episode in theaters as a movie, showing commercials of people camping outside to see it. Gee, Cartoon Network must really be proud of this show. It's going to be the greatest thing they ever created! It was canceled after 28 episodes. Huh. Alright then. This show is the brainchild of former Outcast member Andre 3000 Benjamin, who plays an animated version of himself becoming a music teacher for a group of kids, and the mishaps that happened to them along the way. This was a show that was gone quicker than it came, so I missed out on it. I just watched it recently to see what it was all about, and it was... meh? It was a musical themed show based off of an established musician. Can't say Cartoon Network did something like that before. Oh, right. Well, this show still had something unique about it. The animation style was different, I guess. I don't exactly hate this show. It did have some funny moments and characters based on the little I saw of it. It even featured the voices of Tom Kenny, Jeff Bennett, Jennifer Hale, Phil Lamar, and Janice Kawai! Dagnabbit, Janice! Why can't you be in more cartoons I absolutely love? Damn it, Janice, I love you! For a cartoon that Cartoon Network hyped the hell out of, you'd think it would be something more special than this. Executives should know by now that success happens by accident. If you build up something thinking that's going to be the next best thing, when people see it, it's not going to live up to the hype. So, people aren't going to like it. It's best just to release things and let the popularity develop from there. I guess since this had such a big name like Andre Benjamin attached to it, people were gonna like it by default. Well, let's just say Andre's music is a lot better than his cartoon making. Class of 3000, good for reminding me just to listen to my Outcast albums.
These days, these nights are so ordinary. These days, these nights are so ordinary.
Shock Zone. People have been requesting me to talk about this cartoon since I started reviewing animation. Well, wish granted. There's a reason why I held off on talking about this show. I have no idea what to say about it. It was another Nickelodeon show that I watched as a kid, but even then, it bored me. The idea is about a boy who is able to enter the world of a chalkboard and hang around with all the chalk drawings. How original and creative is that? As original and creative as the idea itself, as this show really doesn't take full advantage of its premise. A problem arises in Shock Zone. Rudy, his best friend Penny, and his creation Snap all have to save the day. While the show's premise did lead to some creative plots, I think the main problem with it is the characters and humor. None of these characters are really that interesting, and the humor really isn't anything to write home about. I can't exactly hate this show as there's nothing really infuriating about it. It's just... Unlike the other cartoons on this list, this is one I will not find myself watching again. I remember it well enough, as it came out at a time when Nick aired more than just constant SpongeBob reruns. When there was a new Nicktoon on, you constantly saw reruns of it, even if it only had one episode. So, I saw enough of this show's episodes to have them burned into my head. And I can remind myself of what it was all about. Shock Zone. Theh.
These days, these nights are so ordinary. These days, these nights are so ordinary. On the island, pretty island, where nobody goes.
Does anybody remember this show? I don't either. And there were 6 cartoons that make me say, eh? They're not good. They're not bad. They just exist. That's about it. I'm Benthelooney, and I'm signing out. Why won't you leave me alone?